If there was only one thing that most Zelda games have in common with each other, it's the sometimes annoying side characters like Navi or Fi that spend the whole game alerting you for every little microscopic detail. But if there was one of these side characters that stands out above the rest of them for having an actual likable personality, most fans agree that Midna takes the cake. Throughout the course of the game Twilight Princess, she goes through a major attitude change, decides to save the world of light instead of just the Twilight Realm, and even wields the Triforce of Wisdom? Now I know you're dying to get to the content I have prepared for you, and we'll get there in just a second, but real quick, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor for this video, so stay tuned. Introducing Raid Shadow Legends. I know, you've already heard about Raid all over the place, but that's for some pretty good reasons. It's kind of blowing up right now, because not only is it one of the top 3 ranked RPGs on the Google Play Store, it's also amassed an insane 15 million, that is 15 with 6 zeros, downloads just in the past 6 months. If I sound hyped about it, it's because I am. Raid is an epic dark fantasy game done so right. It's a hero collection turn-based game with over 400 champions for you to collect and customize to your liking. You can explore over 1 million different builds for your champions, raid with your friends in a clan, or for the sappy people like myself, enjoy a thoroughly interesting, fully voiced story campaign with really good music. Oh, by the way, did I mention that this is completely 100% free to play? That's right, the only thing standing between you and playing this fantastic mobile RPG is nothing. You can download and play this game right now for free and join the millions of growing players. It's got such a fun way of rewarding you for playing too, with the progressive reward system where you can get tons of free champions, equipment, and other cool stuff just for learning to play the game. And once you complete the missions, you will get one of the best legendary champions in the game, the Arbiter herself. Man, is it just me or is it getting hot in here? The game isn't staying put either. They actually have huge plans for the future up to 6 months out. You're not even gonna have time to get bored. So really, what are you waiting for? No, don't answer that. Just go to the video description, click on the special link, and if you're a new player, you'll get 100,000 silver, 2 clan boss keys, 10 mystery shards, and 1 free champion, the Executioner. Does he look like someone you want to mess with? No. Your enemies are going to think the exact same thing. So starting off with this mad powerful rare champion gives you an edge above the rest. The rewards will show up right in your inbox, which is this little icon on the top right of your screen, but you better hurry because the link is only good for 30 days from this point. So guys, click the link in the description and download the game. Worst case scenario, you have some fun. Best case scenario, you have a boatload of fun. And now, back to the video. Midna is hands down not only one of the most adored side characters, but also one of the most influential and unique Zelda characters in general, with her mysterious past and thought-provoking design. However, as it's becoming increasingly obvious to me the more I continue making videos about Zelda, a lot of fans out there and watching this are actually relatively new to the franchise, coming to the fanbase from the latest title, Breath of the Wild, meaning that a lot of you probably don't know who Midna is. Because of that, instead of just assuming everyone knows what I'm talking about when I reference different points of the game, I'm going to quickly cover who Midna is and what happens with her in Twilight Princess. So consider yourself warned about spoilers if you haven't played the game. For those of you who have played the game and already know the events I'm referring to, check out my rundown of Midna's story. I may mention something you forgot, who knows. Midna is a curious little imp with strange powers and an even stranger sense in fashion. You first meet her in Twilight Princess when Link, transformed inexplicably into a wolf, is chained up in prison. Midna appears out of nowhere and takes an interest in you for reasons unknown at the time. She offers you her help to break out of prison if you'll do exactly as she tells you to. Given no other choice, Link agrees and the two of you escape the prison within Hyrule Castle, then proceed to meet with Princess Zelda, who is mockingly referred to as the Twilight Princess by Midna, which is ironic for reasons I'll get to later. After the Zelda meeting, Midna reminds Link that he has an obligation to help her with her goals in order to save his own friends, which starts the first multi-dungeon questline regarding finding the 3 other pieces of the mysterious artifact known as the Fused Shadow. Once Link completes the first 3 temples of the game and is returning to the light spirit of the Lanayru province, the evil usurper King Zant appears and plunges the realm into twilight again at the mere wave of his hand. He easily knocks Link unconscious and takes the fused shadow pieces from Midna, then attempts to persuade her to join his side, hinting at a past they once shared. Midna refuses and instead retreats to Link's side, signifying her choice of Link and the Light World over Zant and the Twilight World. Zant is upset by this and subjects her to perhaps the most deadly torture she could possibly endure, the light. Midna, a being of Twilight, is nearly killed by this and very weakly slumps upon Link's back, leaving Link to rush her to the only one who can help, Princess Zelda. It is here that Midna shows her true change of heart, when in her dying moments, she asks Zelda not to heal herself, but to save Link, and to tell Link how to break his own curse so that he may defeat the evil King Zant. As her final request, she asks Zelda to tell Link where he can find the Mirror of Twilight. Zelda does none of these, but instead sacrifices herself in transferring her own soul to Midna so that Midna can survive in both the Light World and in the Twilight. Now, here's where I'm going to take a pause on the storytelling and kind of get into what just happened in this castle scene with Zelda and ask a few questions. Here we have a being of Twilight who cannot exist outside of the shadows of the Light World, dying due to overexposure to light, and Zelda, the princess of the Light World, giving Midna the ability to live on by transferring her own essence to Midna. Giving Midna the soul of a light dweller in order for Midna to live on in the Light World seems like the reasonable explanation for what just happened. But Midna isn't the only resident of the Twilight Realm we see that is able to survive in the light. We've already seen the other one, and his name is Zant. Now, it's possible that Zant also absorbed the soul of a light dweller in order to survive in the light, but we never see this in-game, nor do we hear of Zant killing any light dwellers, so we can't really assume that that's what happened to him. So what exactly happened to Zant that was similar to what happened to Midna? Well, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, so let me cover the rest of what happens with Midna in the game before explaining Zant's secrets. After Zelda rejuvenates Midna, she and Link continue onward to the Arbites grounds to find the Mirror of Twilight, only to discover it's been rendered into 4 pieces and scattered across Hyrule. The 6 sages appear and reveal that Midna is the true Twilight Princess, which is why her earlier comment towards Zelda was an ironic one, and explain to the duo that Ganondorf was the source of Zant's power. The duo then set off to find the remaining pieces of the mirror and complete it, upon which they enter the Twilight Realm and ultimately confront and defeat Zant, who proclaims that his god Ganon will have to be defeated if Midna is ever to return to her true, non-impish form. Midna flips out at this and proceeds to eliminate Zant by not only stabbing him with giant hair tentacles, but also blowing him up like a freaking balloon. Anyway, she stuns herself, Link, and quite frankly all of us watching by killing Zant so brutally with such a display of power, and assumes it's because of the fused shadow. After this, the duo are now obviously set on finding and defeating the big baddie himself, Ganondorf, who has encapsulated Hyrule in a triangular barrier. Midna is able to transform into a spider-like beast with the power of the fused shadow and break the barrier, permitting access to herself and the hero. They enter and scale the castle and confront Ganondorf, who proceeds to possess Zelda and attack Link alone, locking Midna out of the room. Once Link is victorious, Ganon is manifested and does battle with Wolf Link and Midna as a duo. Once Ganon is defeated, Midna warps the now conscious Zelda and Link out into Hyrule Field and prepares to attempt to solo Ganondorf with her new fused shadow powers. But this was where she goofed up. She either underestimated Ganondorf's power or overestimated her own. Either way, Ganondorf shows up in Hyrule Field mere moments later, wielding and even breaking Midna's hat piece of the fused shadow, signifying not only his victory over Midna, but also his overwhelming power above that of the fused shadow itself. Link and Zelda are finally able to kill Ganondorf in the fields of Hyrule and break the curse upon Midna. Okay, now that we've basically covered everything that happens regarding Midna in the game, let's start theorizing. I asked earlier what exactly happened to Zant to grant him immunity to the light, and we get our answer from the man himself. Ganondorf is the reason he can survive in the light. Ganondorf granted Zant some of his own power, which we know from previous games and Twilight Princess itself comes primarily from the Triforce of power. This means that Zant was indirectly granted the power of the Triforce, giving him his immense strength over the spirits of the light that we see in-game. Now, let's apply this to what we see happen with Midna. She receives Zelda's soul and then is shown to be able to survive in the light world just like Zant. Zelda, like Ganondorf, has her own piece of the Triforce of Wisdom. Since Zelda is giving Midna all of her essence, wouldn't that include her own Triforce piece? We even see Midna seemingly glance at her hand before saying to Zelda, "I have taken everything you had to give, though I did not want it," implying she may actually be looking at the symbol of the Triforce on the back of her hand. But I know what you're thinking. If Midna received Zelda's Triforce of Wisdom, shouldn't we see an influx of power from her? Yes we should. And we do. We see her surprise herself and Link with her show of newfound strength over Zant that she didn't even know she could do. She claims it's because of the fused shadow, but I believe this actually wasn't the case and leads to her overconfidence in the Dark Relic. She then shows overwhelming power once again when we see her break the barrier erected by Ganondorf's own power. Now listen, this was no ordinary barrier, it was a Triforce barrier. It's even in the shape of a triangular structure and golden, yet Midna is able to break it. Again, it seems obvious in the cinematics that this is due to the fused shadow, but I believe Ganondorf is shown breaking the fused shadow with his own strength later on after he defeats Midna to show what little power it holds in comparison to the Triforce of power. We're led to believe, due to the creepy cutscene we see just before the duo enters the water temple, that the fused shadow was created to harness the power of the Triforce. By the way, if you've ever wondered about what this creepy scene actually meant, I actually did a breakdown video of it a little bit ago that I'll link to in the comments below. But anyway, the cutscene leads us to believe the fused shadow matches the power of the Triforce, but then shows us that when the light spirits take action, their power and their relic from the goddesses is still the supreme power. Midna unknowingly used her Triforce of Wisdom that was given to her from Zelda, thinking it was the fused shadow's power, to break the barrier of the Triforce of power, giving her false hope that the fused shadow could stand up to Ganondorf. However, she was sorely mistaken, because once Zelda woke up and regained her piece of the Triforce, Midna and the fused shadow were beaten by Ganondorf effortlessly. The game spent the whole time leading us to believe that the fused shadow was more powerful than it really was, while at the same time subtly dropping hints at the truth to make Ganondorf's true power seem that much more impactful. Another reason that the Triforce of Wisdom could have been in Midna for a while instead of Zelda is that we see Zelda being possessed in this game. Now, throughout several games, Ganon is shown possessing many different forms and beings in order to accomplish his own dark goals. And in Twilight Princess, it's Zelda herself. But have you ever wondered why he waited to do that until just now? Could it be that the Triforce of Wisdom was actually protecting her from Ganondorf's possession, and that without it, he was able to accomplish whatever he wanted to do with her lifeless body? After all, he captures Zelda in Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker in similar fashion, and even uses puppets in the latter, but doesn't possess Zelda's body because in both situations, she does in fact still hold the Triforce of Wisdom. So what do you think? Did Zelda give Midna her piece of the Triforce, making Midna the only known second bearer of the Triforce of Wisdom, or something else? Comment below letting me know what you think. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave me a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to MaskedNintendoBandit if you haven't already for much more juicy Zelda content to come. As always, huge thanks to my amazing Patreon supporters, including my newest one, Anthony. If you're interested in supporting the channel and getting your name featured in each video, check out the link in the description below. Also, the winner for the previous thumbnail guessing game was John Bright. This one was purposefully more difficult, and John's obviously quite the Zelda fan with this Majora's Mask profile picture, which makes his victory all the more amazing. So John, if you're watching this, leave us a comment below proclaiming your victory. Stay tuned next week for the next guessing game. I have another adorable piece of fan art to show you all, and it comes from the amazing Zodiac the Dragonborn user in my Discord server. Zodiac, thank you so much. It's so cute. I love it. Speaking of Discord, if anyone's interested in joining the server and talking with the best of fellow Zelda fans and myself, please check the link in the description below to join up. Alright, I think that's all I've got for you today. Happy Zelda month, everyone. This is MaskedNintendoBandit signing out. Peace!